Hey everyone, this is CJ Peaceful again. I just wanted to go over a couple of things regarding this SBB Dry Cell, which that's something I've had a few personal emails about. Kind of wondering what in the world does the SBB stand for. It's nothing actually very important, I guess you would say, or something special. It's not code or cryptic for saboteurs of the Better Business Bureau or something. I don't know, but it's basically just an acronym that one of my sons and I came up with as I was constructing it. Originally, you can remember in my first video regarding this SBB, had what looked like sort of a bluish color, or maybe baby blue color, end plates that held the cell together. And the first thing out of his mouth was he said, you know, Dad, that kind of looks like a baby blue color. I'm not so sure about it, you know. I just smiled and said, perfect, SBB. It's a small baby blue dry cell. Okay, I know that's not very funny, but anyway, so we sort of evolved from there, but I still like the SBB, so what I've decided to do is go ahead and keep the initials. Instead of calling it the small baby blue dry cell, it is now the small brick-build dry cell. So anyway, I just had a few things I wanted to show you. I've had a few comments about this, the attachment as far as the fasteners and whatnot, and what created the cracking, spalling, whatever you want to call it. I do believe I said in the video that I sort of postulated that maybe it had something to do with the torque between the two dissimilar products or dissimilar materials, and one of course yielded to the other, which caused the cracking, and that is true, by the way. But what I kind of failed to really go into detail about was what these nylon washers really do. When you got two materials that are fairly dense, such as this steel washer and the acrylic plates here. Of course, the acrylic plate is not nearly as dense as the steel. What's going to happen is, over time, due to the expansion and contraction of the acrylic due to the varying temperatures that this cell will see, what could happen is, if your clear holes are not, if you don't follow some practical guidelines as far as drilling through acrylic, what could happen is, because of the temperature fluctuations, you could develop these stress cracks long after you've actually drilled the holes. And so what the nylon does is, it allows you to create friction, if you will, between the two dense materials, the acrylic and the steel. And what the friction does is it allows you to torque down the nuts to the point where it's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a tremendous amount of torque. It allows you to create that necessary friction, so that thereby you're not, the materials, the gasket, the steel, the acrylic and whatnot, they don't move, they won't slide, they won't vibrate loose. If you don't have that, what happens is you take a piece of steel, you have your steel washer, and it's directly making contact with your acrylic, and you torque down the nuts. Whether you do it this way, or you have the bolts going through the plates and torque it down that way, you could still get the spalling, or this cracking or splaying, if you will, of the acrylic, because you don't have that friction there. You're not creating the friction which creates an adhesion, if you will, between the two materials, which are dissimilar. So that's what this nylon does. The nylon is not as dense as the acrylic, and it is of course not as dense as the steel. And so when you put that between the two fairly dense materials, it creates a nice cushion, sort of a rubber isolator, if you will, between two pieces of metal. Anyway, I started taking this apart, and I thought about them. I thought, well, let's do a quick video maybe and sort of explain a little bit of what I meant, maybe a little better explanation what I meant about using the nylon washers. And another thing too, it allows you to do, it allows you to create enough friction between the two to actually minimize the use of fasteners, the number of fasteners. I think what I'm going to do is create another video sort of giving maybe some basic rules of thumb, if you will, or some calculations to sort of give you an idea of about how many fasteners you should use based on some various engineering principles I'm familiar with, and kind of give you a better understanding. Sort of incorporate that with the use of the nylon spacer washer, if you will. But anyway, just want to give you a quick video on that, like I said, and see you next time.